Let's jump right into this explainer and look at the absolute secret to professional filmmaking, transforming your story into a universal blueprint. Because in the world of cinema, a screenplay, it's not just about getting a good story down on paper. It's actually a highly functional communication tool. By mastering the industry standard, you aren't just writing, you're actively building a document that an entire production team is going to use.
Seriously, imagine the sheer chaos on a film set if the director, the lead actor, the producers, and the lighting crew couldn't read the same document. It'd be like everyone showing up to play a sport but playing by completely different, made-up rules. Think back to submitting a group project in school where every single student used a wildly different format. Confusing, right? Now multiply that confusion by 100 crew members all working on a multi-million-dollar project. Total nightmare.
Well, the film industry actually solved this problem decades ago. They created one uniform format. Because look, messy, blocky, randomly formatted text just slows everything down. But a clean, evenly spaced, standardized script page that ensures everyone on a production can instantly find their scenes, their dialogue, and their action cues. And this format is used everywhere, from Hollywood to London, Mumbai to Lahore. It's a highly functional communication system, not just a bunch of arbitrary, annoying rules.
And here's where it gets really practical. The golden industry standard is that one properly formatted screenplay page equals roughly 1 minute of screen time. To put that into perspective, this metric is exactly how producers plan the running time and the budget for the entire movie. Now, sure, it's not always mathematically exact down to the millisecond, but this consistent layout is the essential metric they use to schedule a shoot. Basically, if your formatting is off, your budget and your schedule are completely off. So here's our agenda for today. First, we'll cover the universal filmmaking language. Second, the anatomy of a scene. Third, tools of the trade. And fourth, avoiding amateur mistakes.
Moving right along to Section 2, Anatomy of a Scene, Building Blocks of the Blueprint.
Every properly formatted page is built on a few specific foundational blocks, and the absolute first one is the slug line, also known as the scene heading. Every single new scene has to start with this. It immediately anchors the location manager and the lighting crew by answering 3 crucial questions. Is the scene taking place inside or outside? Where exactly does it take place? And finally, is it day or night? That literally tells the entire department what equipment they need to pull for the shoot. For example, take a look at XT, Mountain Village, Sunset. Just those few capitalized words instantly tell the crew the whole story of the setup. XT stands for exterior, so we're outside. The location is the mountain village, and sunset tells the director of photography exactly what specific lighting conditions they need to capture the moment. Simple, right?
Next up, we have action lines. These are basically your direct instructions for the director, and they absolutely must focus strictly on the visual and auditory experience. Remember, you're writing for a visual medium, so if the audience can't literally see it or hear it on screen, it shouldn't be in your action lines, period. Keep them short, keep them visual, and make them incredibly easy to read. Notice the difference when you break actions down into smaller blocks. It creates a significantly faster, smoother reading experience. When you have an exhausting, massive paragraph of dense text, it acts like a brick wall that just stops the reader in their tracks. But short, punchy action blocks, they keep the pace moving, mimicking the actual flow of a movie and keeping everything crystal clear for everyone on set.
Okay, moving on to the actors. The character cue has to be perfectly centered and strictly consistent throughout the entire script, right above their dialogue. Please, avoid using any confusing nicknames. If the character's name is Ali on page 1, it should always say Ali, so the actor and the script supervisor can seamlessly track those specific parts without any guesswork. And directly beneath that name is the dialogue. Now, professional dialogue must be brutally purposeful. Every single line has to earn its right to be on the page. If a line doesn't reveal character, advance the story, or build conflict, you've got to cut it. It should be concise and actively drive this scene forward. Remember, if an actor can convey an emotion with just a silent look instead of a long speech, let the visual do the heavy lifting. Now, sometimes you might need to clarify a very specific delivery for an actor, and that's where parentheticals come in. These are little words like quietly or sarcastically tucked right before the dialogue. But here's a massive caveat. Use them sparingly. Actors and directors are pros, and they absolutely need room to interpret the performance naturally and bring their own intuition to your characters. Don't micromanage them on the page. Finally, we have transitions. These are those capitalized indicators, usually aligned to the right, like cut to or fade out to, which signal major shifts in the story. Though it's really worth noting that modern screenwriters actually use these way less frequently than they did in classic Hollywood scripts. So only throw them in when they serve a very clear, undeniable storytelling purpose.
Next up, Section 3, Tools of the Trade. Software does the heavy lifting. The absolute best part of all this? You don't actually need to memorize margins, fonts, or line spacing at all. Specialized software handles all the heavy lifting for you. Final Draft is the undisputed industry standard, but you've got so many fantastic options. Fade-In is a powerhouse alternative. WriterDuet is amazing for real-time collaboration. Celtx is super beginner-friendly. Arc Studio has this gorgeous, clean interface, and if you're on a tight budget, free open-source options like Trelby ensure you can just focus entirely on telling a great story while the software takes care of the formatting.
Moving to our final section, Section 4, Avoiding Amateur Mistakes to Protect Your Script. Let's look at the traps that will instantly signal to a producer that you're an amateur before they even finish page 1. First, literally never write a screenplay in a standard word processor without formatting software. Just don't do it. Second, avoid those massive blocks of text that exhaust the reader. Third, stop trying to do the director's job by overusing camera directions. Let the story flow. And lastly, chill out on the transitions and parentheticals. You have to trust your highly skilled collaborators on set. I want you to think of formatting as a protective shield for your creativity. Because, look, professional formatting won't magically make a bad story great, but poor formatting will absolutely distract readers, and it might just prevent them from ever discovering how incredible your story really is. You've worked hard on your ideas, so don't let them hide behind a wall of confusing text. Ultimately, formatting is just the blueprint. It's a sturdy foundation. So now that you know the universal language to make your script totally production ready, what incredible story are you going to build next? How will you use this structure to create clear purpose, sharp conflict, and truly compelling scenes? Keep this universal language in the back of your mind the next time you sit down to write, because when you get the structure right, it actually sets your imagination completely free.